think the drama is beyond COVID in the sense that there are a lot of times people have been stigmatized as a result of some sort of sickness. When we talk of sickness such as HIV and AIDS and all that, a lot of people have been stigmatized. So I think I see the drama to be way. The COVID situation is a lot better as compared to when it initially started, and everybody the Tamale and say the whole world was more like a jungle. Everyone was running helter skelter, scared for our lives. I mean, step out of her house. I mean, I had an experience where one morning I came out coughing, and every weekend my younger ones that week, Charlie, my stepmother stopped everyone from coming to my room. I mean, I was in isolation in my own house, Charlie. But now it's better. Yeah.
Tells you how much everyone is scared of COVID. Rama, how is the COVID situation like in your community?
So initially when the COVID was in Samaling, in my area, it felt as if the world was actually coming to an end. I was so scared that I thought everyone was going to die because the way the numbers were being popped out every day, it looks as if the world was actually coming to an end. I felt so scared to come out and all that. But then what could I do? I couldn't stay in the house all the time, so I definitely had to move on. But now I think the fear has actually been suppressed since the number of recoveries has actually also rising than the number of deaths and other active cases. So this has been my motivation for me.
Okay. So you both are saying that the situation has improved. I mean, the fear and everything has, it's way better as compared to at first. But then I'm also thinking that because of it's like no one is really scared. Are people still practicing the preventive measures? Because I mean, last time I checked, I think COVID-19 is still in Ghana.
Okay.
Yes, I mean we haven't defeated COVID-19 yet, but it looks like a lot of people have moved on.
As far as a lot of people have moved on because we have to move on. It's a must that we should move on. Okay. I mean, COVID has come, but COVID is not the end of mankind.
Okay.
I mean, COVID won't bring us down. So yeah, we've also moved on. We can't wait for COVID to cripple us down. Nah.
Okay, I mean, I get the moving on, but I think that for what it is worth, we still need to practice the preventive measures.
Well, we still do, but not as we did before. Right, in that we've learned to accept COVID as part of life at the moment.
Okay.
I mean, there's as little as we can do as compared to what the health professionals can do. So in our own little ways, we practice the preventive measures as best as we can, but not like we used to.
But I mean, I don't know, I'm just thinking that we should still be you should still be scared of COVID as we used to be, although we've had a lot of recoveries and all of that. We should still practice the preventive measures. Maybe that's even how we'll be able to get COVID out of the system faster. Maybe we wouldn't have new people getting infections and all of that. I mean, we've moved on, of course. Schools are resuming. I mean, basically all the restrictions have kind of eased up a bit. But I still think that people should, still wear the nose mask and washing and cleaning of the hands and all of that. I mean, so that was a brief intro. And if you just tuned in, the program is the Get Up, Speak Out SRHR program for young people. And we are in the studios of 123 99.7 FM. And we are discussing COVID-19 stigma. You can join us via text message or WhatsApp on 020-950-5397. Taking it again, 020-950-5397. Yes, so let's delve right into COVID-19 stigma. So Arafat, when we say stigma, what are we talking about?
Okay, so stigma comes in a lot of ways.
Okay.
But then, trying to narrow it down to the community level, let's try to explain it as best as we can in relation to our community level. Usually, when stigma arises, people treat other people as if they are not worth living.
Okay.
We treat them as if they are not part of life simply because they've fallen victim to something or an event. So we kind of isolate ourselves from them. This way we are stigmatizing such people.
Such people.
Yeah, we don't want them to come closer to us, neither do we want to get closer to such people.
Yeah. Okay. Rama still on stigma.
Well, I think Arafat has actually said it all. Stigma actually arises when someone or people are being denied certain human rights in their societies because of they've fallen as victims of certain circumstances. I think that's just what Arafat exactly.
Okay. So I mean, we're talking about what stigma is. So how does stigma manifest? What are the forms of stigma? How do people stigmatize COVID-19 patients?
Okay.
Rama.
Okay, so well, the forms of stigma, I mean COVID-19 stigma, is actually in relation to people being victims being stigmatized, and also family of victims also being stigmatized, such as in the drama, in relation to the drama, as sorry to say, was it Anani who was being stigmatized just because his father fall as a victim of COVID-19 and was even treated. I mean, he was no more having the virus, but yet his family and then his son and then his wife were being stigmatized.
Okay.
Even after knowing that they've been checked,
they've been treated and all of that. Yeah, Arafat still on the forms.
Yeah. So stigma takes a lot of forms in that it can be diverse or is flexible.
Okay.
So, for instance, there are times that people don't want to get closer to such people. There are times that such people can't even have a moment of peace in their own communities, in that they find it extremely difficult to even talk to other people in the community, because they feel those people, for lack of knowledge, my people perish. So these people not having enough information begin to hang on to any information that has been brought out by random people, especially when we look at COVID, that is still a new pandemic. People are still struggling to understand it, so they are easily influenced by informations that are coming from even sources that are not relevant. Now let's take in relation to the drama as well. The lady at some point couldn't even buy things from her friends. People
she went to the market to buy food and
she refused to sell to her.
So
I mean, these are things that are happening in our communities. But then sometimes it will take a brave person, like, how do I put this, to actually stigmatize a victim plainly. Usually in our communities, they will not say they won't sell, but they will say either the thing is finished or it's not there.
Yes.
But then you are looking at the thing is in the store, and they are telling you that
it's not there.
or it's not there. If you ask, they will say they are empty boxes.
They can even tell you it's been reserved.
I mean, and this, how would you feel when you have such an experience?
And immediately you walk away, you see that they are selling
to someone,
the next buyer.
I mean, these things happen. So these are some of the ways these things take forms in our community level. And children or close relations of victims are not spared as well. look
Like
at
in the
the
drama,
the children aspect of the drama. Children, they couldn't play because his father had been has recovered from COVID, so automatically he's also COVID infected.
I mean, the woman even went to the extent of calling her Koro baby.
Koro baby. I mean,
imagine.
When I think when Northeast reported its first COVID case, though there were rumors around it as to whether it was true or not. I read an article somewhere where family members of the victim were stigmatized to a point where they couldn't even go to the market.
So sad.
I mean, that is their livelihood. And although, yes, we need to be careful when that thing happens, but then these are people who have been tested and the test results came out as what? Negative. But still, people did not believe. They still went ahead and stigmatized on close relations.
And I'm just wondering. I mean, only God knows how much all these victims go through, because I mean, having COVID-19, I feel like it's a whole lot of stress on its own, what it does to your body, the coughing and all of that. And now, I mean, the people who are supposed to be your friends and family, who are supposed to be supporting you and praying that you recover, the same people stigmatizing you.
Yeah.
Must be very, very sad.
I mean, just imagine losing a child to COVID and you are still being stigmatized. How many?
I mean,
just imagine the length.
It's a whole lot of trauma. I mean,
I don't know why, but people always feel like it's not my problem until it gets to me.
Yeah.
And it's one of the major problems we have as human.
Yeah.
It's not my problem until it gets to me.
Yeah, a lot of us forget that. I mean, COVID-19, it can, anyone can get infected with COVID-19. Yeah. No one deliberately goes to, infect themselves with COVID-19.
I mean, imagine people who are better protecting themselves still get infected.
Imagine.
How about we?
Rahma, I'm just thinking, I mean, it's something like malaria. If you have when someone gets malaria, it's your own family members who cook for you, feed you and all of that. But when it's COVID-19, I mean, no one even wants, even your own family, no one wants to get close to you. I'm just wondering what's accounting for the stigma. Like, what is the problem? What's causing this?
Well, in my own opinion, I'll say it's the mode of transmission.
Okay.
Well, since COVID-19 is more like transmitted when one gets closer to the victim, or perhaps when one gets closer to the victim and then the victim coughs or sneezes, and then droplets from the cough or sneeze touches that person is likely to get the virus. So, well, if I get to realize that you have COVID-19, how am I sure that if I cook food for you and then come closer to you, well, I'll not actually get this virus? But then it shouldn't be so. Yeah, we all know that it shouldn't be so. Yeah. So if I fall victim of COVID-19, definitely I'll make sure I have a sanitizer with me. I'll make sure I wash my hands regularly, and I'll also be on medications. So while I'm treating myself, that does not mean that COVID-19 virus is all over my body. So if you come just closer to me, you get the virus. I mean, it's not logical. Yeah, though we have to be scared. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Rahma. And Arafat, still on what accounts for the stigma and everything. Yes, I actually get the mode of transmission. Arafat, is there any other reason why people could be like, why the stigma?
Okay, so when we had this we had a discussion on the myths of COVID. I think on Savannah, I invited Dauda. I asked Dauda, how are these myths spread? The first thing Dauda said, and I quote, was information van. And I am taking this again, and because I strongly agree with him in that there are some people in our community level we call information vans. These people are equipped with absurd informations. Only God knows where they fetch those informations from. And once an information drops into the ears of these people, then the entire community is bound to hear them. So these people, when they get the information, instead of probing further to find out the authenticity of the information, they just pick it up like that, and they also start spreading it. And once they spread it, this person also sends it to another person. It creates that atmosphere of fear. So things that people should have known to better equip themselves, they end up holding on to things that they shouldn't, that are not true, that they shouldn't even be listening to in the first place. So these are some of the reasons why, because someone said even if an infected person looks at you, then you catch COVID. There are people who are not better informed about COVID. So once they get to hear about these things, they also take it to be true. So the slightest rumor they hear about an infected person, then by all means everybody will clear, if not 500 meters, but 700 meters away from the infected person, because everyone wants to live long.
Interesting. If you just tuned in, the program is the Get Up Speak Out SRHR program, and we are discussing COVID-19 stigma. Rama, we are talking about stigma. Yeah, we've been having a lot of interesting discussions on it. Is the stigma a problem? Should we be worried about the stigma, and why?
Yes, I think we should be worried about stigma. Stigma is more like carrying the wrong information around. So if one is being I think it's going to harm that person a whole lot. And also if one is being misinformed, the person is actually carrying a wrong information, which will be more unlike something that he or she will use to stigmatize a victim who falls as a COVID-19, who falls as a victim of COVID-19. Sorry. So if I get to be someone who has been misinformed, I actually will carry the wrong information, and whenever I hear that someone is having COVID-19, I'll say, oh, this and this. If I actually look at that person, then I'll get the virus too. So I think it has a whole lot of diverse effects on be it the victim and also the one having the wrong information. And well, the most amazing thing is that the wrong information actually spreads more than the right information. You know, we've been having a whole lot of information going about, education going about, educating people on how to keep themselves safe from getting the virus. But then that information does not spread as much as how, if I say, if a COVID-19 victim looks at me, the person is, I'm going to also get the virus, express more than that.
Okay, thank you so much, Rama. At this juncture, we are opening our phone line, so you can join the discussion by calling 500-0282. The number again is 050-500-0282. But we are taking a quick break, and when we come back, we'll dive right to it.
Theatre for Social Change is an innovative Ghanaian non-profit organization established in response to the need of having a sustainable social and behavioral change communication to promote positive and healthy attitudinal changes for desirable future well-being of people.
Our vision is to see resilient, informed and empowered communities, especially women, girls and youth, with a self-confidence to improve their well-being.
Our mission is to use interactive theatre and other participatory approaches to promote the empowerment of all people, to sustainably transform their lives and communities through health, education, economic livelihood, and child protection and rights program.
We focus on promoting sustainable transformation in social and behavioral change communication in areas that have a direct impact on people, especially the poor and vulnerable groups, including women, girls, children, and the disabled.
Our goal is to empower people within the context of their own experience, to listen to their concerns, learn from their insights, admit their intelligence, and honor their ideas to sustainably transform their lives and communities. For further information, visit our website www.tfscghana.org. TFSC, touching lives, transforming communities.
Welcome to 99.7. Get ready. This is 99.7 FM.
We are welcome from the break. If you just tuned in, the program is the Get Up, Speak Out SRHR program for young people. And we are in the studios of 123 99.7 FM. And we are discussing COVID-19 stigma. I also like to remind listeners that you can join the discussion by sending your thoughts and contributions by text message or WhatsApp on 020-950-5397. We are also live on the Theatre for Social Change page on Facebook, so you can send your comments on there as well. And we are also opening our phone line, so you can also join the discussion by calling 050-500-0282. The number again is 050-500-0282. So Arafat, yes, still on what we're talking about. I mean, is the stigma a problem? Should we be worried about COVID-19 stigma?
Stigma is a huge problem.
Okay.
Because stigma to a large extent contributes to the spread of the virus.
Okay.
In that people having the wrong information, instead of having the right information to staying safe from the virus, they have the wrong information to staying exposed to the virus. That puts them at risk of acquiring virus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and also
Interesting.
because of stigma, on a regular, I mean, at least close relations should know.
Yeah.
But then, due to fear of stigma, they keep this information from them.
So okay.
It also means that they are putting find out what's up. Holding the doorknob alone is a risk for them.
Hafiz, and I'm calling from Lamashegu.
Hafiz from Lamashegu, thank you so much for calling in. Please, your
Yes,
contribution.
first of all, I just want to say that the drama was very educative. I think you might need to do it more often so that the public out there can get the message more.
Okay.
I think in as much as the topic COVID-19 stigma is something that we have to avoid, because in as much as the person has affected the disease, it's not the end of the world. And as individuals, we have to be more empathetic. Let's stop and avoid the finger pointing and the wishes. Because such individuals, apart from the fact that they are physically ill, feelings matter. And this sickness can lead a lot of people into other situations. I mean, suicide happens every second. And for that matter, that is something that we have to avoid. I just want to leave by saying that a diagnosis is not an identity, but a condition.
Okay.
COVID-19 does not discriminate, neither should all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hafiz from Lamashegu. Yes, so you can also call in, and by the number is 050-500-0282. The number is 050-500-0282. Yes, Hafiz added a very interesting contribution that people should be more empathetic, like we said earlier, because COVID-19 can affect anyone at all, any one of us. So just because someone has it today doesn't mean that you can't be in their shoes. So we should try to be more empathetic.
Sure.
Yeah, so you were speaking.
Yeah, so that's just it. But then I'll just touch on the end bit of empathy. Already I said usually a lot of us have that negligent attitude of feeling that it is not my problem until I find myself in it.
Okay.
But then let's take this for instance. You have you have a close relation who has been affected by it, and you still feel like because it is not you yourself, then there's no way you feel you support that person. Now, if you imagine finding yourself in that same position with no one, like literally no one to support you, how would you feel? I mean, there are times you say stigma kills faster than the virus itself, because it leads to depression and so many other things. It could even lead to suicide, right? Because when it happens, people who are stigmatized are mentally unstable. They find it difficult to think straight, and at that particular moment, they are very vulnerable. Every little thing can influence them to do things that they shouldn't be doing. So personally, I think stigma is a huge problem.
Okay, thank you. Rama, so what are some of the effects of this stigma on?
Okay, so I think Arafat has actually touched on some of it. That is depression, suicide, and one can also just as Arafat said, depression and then suicide that is killing. I would have said death, but I think it's part of the suicide and all that. So I think that's just the effects of it. And also, while looking at the stigma, okay, so I think that's just what I have to say.
Okay.
I mean, it also makes sometimes make people feel like, okay, so this has reached me, this has gotten to me, and this is what people want to do to me. So why don't I just spread it? I mean, I've read a couple of articles online where HIV infected persons, due to stigma, decided to move elsewhere just to spread the virus.
Yeah, I mean, it happens.
So they feel like I need to get more people involved in it so that I know I am not alone in it.
I mean, there are people who know they are HIV positive and they are still going around having unprotected sexual intercourse.
So they feel like, well, I need to also build a community of my own where I am not alone.
Man, that's actually sad.
But then to a large extent, when you put yourself in a position like that, the truth is that no one likes being alone. I'm not saying it's right, but then let's take it this way. No one likes being alone.
Okay.
No one likes being alone. So when that happens, they are looking for other people to be in the same level with them. So here is the case we could have avoided the spread by being supportive. Now we've encouraged the spread without being because we are being less supportive when we should have been.
Maybe if we were more like receptive towards these victims, just maybe they wouldn't have felt alone and they wouldn't feel the need to probably retaliate, because deliberately infecting other people with a condition like COVID or HIV, it's so rough, deliberate. So maybe if we had accepted them and treated them better, maybe they wouldn't. We're not justifying what they do anyway, no matter how.
And just in case you are getting you think we are getting controversial by supporting them, we are not saying go and be with them. No, that's not what we are saying. But we are only saying that you should make them feel like they are still human.
Because they are.
So you don't need to make them feel any less of
Yeah.
of people.
Yeah, and I mean with COVID, usually when you get treated, you can't infect again because in the drama, the man got, he was treated and all of that, but they were still stigmatizing against he and his family, and that was, I mean, rather sad. I mean, they even refused to. I mean, even in Ghana, I remember when COVID came in March. After some patients had been discharged home and all of that, people didn't even want to buy from their shops, from like the shops of their wives and all of that. I mean, I'm also thinking that it could have some effects, some economical effects.
By all means, it will have economical effect because everything that is bought and sold, there's a tax, a little tax revenue on it. So what happens if it is not bought or sold?
If that's your only,
So you can imagine.
so stigma, I mean, goes a whole lot of way. I think we've been talking about the problem so much. Rama, what can we do as young people to help, fight or stop this stigma?
Okay, so as young people, we should educate people on COVID-19. We should tell them that COVID-19 is actually not spread. When you look at the victim, it's actually spread through droplets when someone sneezes or coughs, and then the droplets touches your hands or inner surface, and you touch it, and then use it to touch any open parts of your body, that is through your eyes, nose, or mouth and ears. That's when the virus can actually get you.
Yes,
So that's
listeners, I would like to remind you that you can call in on 050-500-0282. The number again is 050-500-0282. Yes, still on what you said. I'm thinking that the reason why a lot of people were stigmatizing against people with COVID-19 was because when COVID started, I mean, even scientists didn't know so much about COVID. So, I mean, to a large extent, everyone was scared. No one wanted to even, take that chance at all. But I'm thinking that, I mean, it's been a whole lot of months, and now we know how COVID-19 is spread and all of that, like Rahama said. So, I mean, you know that when you have your nose mask and you regularly sanitize or wash your hands under running water and soap, I mean, you are protected. So there's no point in stigmatizing against people. Maybe at first, when we didn't really understand the dynamics of COVID-19, that's when we were so scared, and maybe we were stigmatizing against people because we were scared. But now we know how it's, so there's really no point in stigmatizing. So yes, like Rahma said. Yes, so Arafat, still on that, Arafat, what can we do as young people or as individuals to help in their fights against the stigma?
Thank you very much. I thank you because this as I think that young people are the best people to help fight stigma. Because we are a new generation with a complete different ideology and approach to issues. So it is our duty as young people to help and the older generation to understand what this COVID-19 pandemic actually is, what it can do and what it can't. It's our duty because we spend a lot of time as in on the internet, on social media, on TV, and we get a lot of information. We get a lot of adequate or accurate information about this virus. Our old folks, I mean, it's even these days, it looks like even our old folks don't listen to radio like they used to before. And the younger generation too, even when they are on social media, they do a lot of different things. So for those of us who get relevant information, it is our duty to spread it out there for other people to also benefit from what we
thank you,
learned.
Arafat. I have a couple of text messages, and Ali from Bewa area is saying that the fight against COVID-19 stigma is a collective effort. Everyone should get on board. And Baba from Sanargo said that the stigma attached to COVID-19 must be reduced by the entire people of Ghana, because it is doing more harm than good. Yeah, in terms of businesses. We are fast running out of time. Rama, your final words.
Okay, so my final words are just that I'd like to urge all young people to take the COVID-19 safety precautions, washing their hands regularly, wearing their masks, avoiding crowded places, and also using sanitizer. That is, if there is no water in soup. And also, I would like to tell people, our cherished listeners, that COVID-19 is actually real, and COVID-19 does not care whether you are a rich man, you are the president's daughter, or any other person, and or whether you are the poorest woman in Ghana, or man in Ghana, or child in Ghana. COVID-19 does not actually care. So,
Rama says COVID-19 is still real, and it's not a discriminator. So still, get your preventive measures. But Arafat, your final words.
My final words is that, the text from Alidu said, COVID-19 stigma is a collective effort. We should all contribute to fighting. We never know who is at better risk of acquiring the virus. So let's be supportive. Let's help the best way we can by fighting stigma, not just around COVID, but stigma in general. I think this will create a safer environment for all young people, and
Thank you so much, Arafat. Hello, listeners. This is where time permits us to end the discussion. Today's topic was COVID-19 stigma, and the program was the Get Up, Speak Out SRHR program for young people. And we were live in the studios of 123 99.7 FM. This program was brought to you by Theatre for Social Change in collaboration with the Ghana SRHR Alliance and supported by Dance for Life and the Comic Relief. I'd like to thank my technical team, Madam Zulaiha and Mr. Daniel. I'd also like to thank my panelists, Arafat Abbas and Rahma Abubakari, who are young people from Theatre for Social Change. And finally, to all listeners, especially those who joined us via calls and text messages, my name is Abdul Hanan Sani, and I was your host for today. So we come your way again, same time next week. It's bye for now.